All right. Happy Monday and happy Father's Day to everybody out there. I said it Friday, but I'm recording this on Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to you guys. My day's been great. I got a new pair of shoes. I got some barbecue. Got some ribs. I got some donuts for breakfast. So it was a pretty good day so far. But this video, as you can see, we're standing here in front of the incubator. I wanted to talk a little bit about my process after when they're getting close to hatching time, because I still have a lot of questions about how I set up my egg boxes. And I think, the old way of doing things is to have some sort of substrate, some sort of media, whether it's perlite or vermiculite or whatever, in the bottom of your egg tubs. It is completely unnecessary. To be honest, it probably sets you up for more failure than just doing it the way I do it, is just filling the bottom of the tub with water, because you can put the wrong amount of water into that vermiculite or perlite, either too much or too little, and ruin your eggs because of it. Because you can't have the eggs sitting in soaking wet media, and you also can't have it so they're drying out. The way I do it is 100% foolproof. I've been doing it this way for over a year. I have not lost a single clutch. There's nothing crazy going on with these clutches. All I do is I have egg trays, the Rep to Chip egg trays. You can buy Dragon Hatch trays, whatever, and all you do is fill the water up in your egg tubs to below where the eggs sit, and that's it. And then you put press and seal on top of the egg tub. I don't drill holes. I don't do anything other than you have to burp the tub when it's getting close to hatching time. What that means is you pull back the press and seal a little bit and you allow more airflow to come in, because the snakes are at that point are starting to really, really exponentially grow in size inside of those eggs, and they do need more air circulation. If you leave that press and seal completely sealed on top of there up to hatch time, there's a chance you could suffocate the babies. So that's where we're at with two of these clutches right now. So let's kind of look at that a little more. All right, so let's see. I don't know how bright this light's going to be in here. Not very bright. So as you can see, these are my two lightning pied clutches, okay? These have been in here, I think one's 30 days, one's 15 days. As you can see, there's a little bit of condensation in there. That's okay. But just from this point of view here, you can see that the eggs are sitting all the way up there. That water is just below that kind of the bottom lip of the hatch tray, and that's it. I don't touch these egg boxes the whole entire time they're in this incubator. I don't do anything. They sit here. This press and seal, it's sealed all the way around, all around the top. You just kind of you just seal it like this. You put your finger around it and then put the lid on top. You seal it up nice and tight, and the eggs are perfectly fine like that. You don't need to drill any holes in these egg boxes. As you can see, all of my egg tubs, there's no holes drilled in them anywhere. I've been doing this for over a year. You do not need to overthink this. Don't make it overcomplicated. Don't drill holes. Don't use media. Just put water in the bottom of your egg boxes and leave it alone until they need burped. So that's where I'm at with this clutch. It's due to hatch next week. So typically what I like to do, and I don't even know if this is necessary, is about 2 weeks beforehand, I start slowly peeling back the press and seal like this. Okay? So all that does is it allows more airflow in there. And then typically, in probably a couple of days, what it'll be, I'll actually just take the press and seal completely off, because the humidity isn't as big of a deal as it is earlier on in the incubation process. So, and the humidity is still going to be pretty high in there. This water, there's so much water in there, that water is not going to evaporate over the course of a week. If I left it in there for 2 months, it probably would if there's no press and seal. But for a week, that's still going to be in there, and it's probably still going to keep that humidity pretty high. So, about 2 weeks beforehand, I peel it back a quarter of the way, halfway, and then I just put the lid back on like this. And in a couple days here, I'm going to take that press and seal completely off. That's it. Nothing else. Now, as you can see here, this egg, this was one of the boob eggs, and it started growing mold on it. That's something else I'm kind of testing out right now just to see if that affects the other eggs, and as you can see, it hasn't. Now, it's only growing mold on that section that's the boob. The rest of it looks completely fine. It's the egg's desiccating, kind of like the same as the other ones, so I'm thinking that everything's fine inside of there. I think the only reason there's mold there is because that part of the egg isn't calcified. None of that like kind of antifungal properties are on there. I don't think it's affecting that egg at all, and it's definitely not affecting the other ones, as you can see. So hopefully that hatch is okay, because these are going to be clown, het pieds, pos het MJs, and we have OD blade, leopard, and pastel in there. So, you know, if I can hit some more pastel, leopard, OD blade, clown, het pieds, pos het MJs, that's going to be a pretty powerful clutch. So we have 7 eggs in there, and I also have this Ultramel clutch. I only had 2 eggs out of it. 7 of them were slugs. It's 2 days behind this other clutch. So again, I just peeled back the press and seal here a little bit. As you can see, those eggs are starting to dimple in too, and hopefully those eggs are okay. I have less hopes for this because the fact that she laid 9 eggs and 7 of them were slugs, I don't have a whole lot of hope for those eggs in there. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm not holding my breath on it. And that's it. You know, I gotta close this up because now I'm getting alerts from my let me see, let me show you. I'm getting alerts from my things here saying that my temperature's dipping. So let's close that up. Those are the sensor pushes doing that. So if you don't have those, I highly recommend a sensor push system. All right, so let's close that up so we can get that temperature back up, make sure it's not dipping too low for too long. And that's it. I will probably need to make one of these videos once every couple months as new people come to the channel, as new people watch this video and then have more questions about egg incubation. But I started off doing the DIY incubator. I saw Reach Out Reptiles put a video about it, and it's foolproof. If you're only going to have 2, 3, 4 clutches in a year, do that. And look back on my channel and search DIY incubator. I have 2 videos about it. Basically all it is you take a big igloo cooler, you fill it with water, and then you put like light diffuser on top of it. You use an aquarium power head, like just basically an underwater fan that circulates the water, and you put 2 water heaters inside of there, and you just set those to whatever temperature it needs to be to get your eggs in the egg boxes up top to a certain temp. That worked perfectly for me. You do have to put holes in the egg boxes for that, so there's everything circulates a little bit, but it's foolproof. But I haven't used that since probably my first year, because at that point I needed a full-size incubator. Those don't hold too many egg boxes because you need to fill the bottom with water, and then you need to put light diffuser on top of that. So it doesn't really fit more than 4 or 5, and I had one of the big, I think 100 liter igloo ones too. So, you know, then I went to the traditional method of, you know, putting perlite in there, putting water in the perlite, making sure it was wet, you know, putting the egg trays on top of it, doing all that crap. Completely unnecessary. I spent all of last year and all of this year doing it this way, just putting water in the bottom, and it does the same exact thing. And if you think about it for a minute, why wouldn't it? The only difference that media makes, that the substrate makes, is that it prevents sloshing of water around, but that shouldn't matter to you anyways, because you shouldn't be touching your egg boxes. Like, they should be in there and not being touched. There's no reason for you to touch those eggs, those egg boxes, or to move them around until they're ready to hatch. You should put the eggs in the egg box, seal it, put it in the incubator, and be done with it. You should not touch them again. There's absolutely no reason to. The only reason I go in there now, as you see, is to burp the egg boxes. I go in there, I peel back the press and seal a little bit, and that's it. I haven't touched these two lightning pipe clutches since I put them in there. I will not touch them until I need to peel back the press and seal. These two I didn't touch until I had to peel back the press and seal. I'll touch the boxes again this week when I take it off permanently. Those are the only two times you should be touching those egg boxes until you're ready to cut eggs or the snakes are coming out. So I'm trying to pass this along to help kind of start a new trend and just making more viable, easy decisions when you're actually in the husbandry part of keeping snakes. I would assume this method would be applicable to anything that needs egg incubation, as long as you need really high humidity levels. And if anybody has questions about humidity levels, it doesn't matter. That's probably that has to be 100% humidity in those egg boxes. Humidity does not make your eggs get moldy, from my experience. If the eggs get moldy, it's because there was some sort of fungus or bacteria introduced to those eggs during the process of them being laid and you moving them into those egg boxes, or the eggs are going bad. Those are the only two reasons that I've ever seen an egg get moldy from having humidity at 100%. The humidity, you want it high, and you don't want to be picky with it being 98 or 95 or 100. I've been incubating my eggs like this with the press and seal the whole entire time I've used incubators. I have never measured the humidity in there. You put them in there, I don't care how much water is in the bottom, and I seal it. Whether I was using perlite or just water, the humidity does not matter. You want it as high as you can get it. So I'm assuming with that press and seal, it's keeping it at 100%. Because there's no air coming in and out. I don't know how it would be less than 100%. It does not make the eggs get moldy. It does not make the eggs get bad. You need the high humidity. So it's very simple. Don't overthink egg incubation. The most important part is to keep the humidity up and to keep the temperatures constant. You don't want those things fluctuating. The best way to do it is like this.